could the past have left behind secrets in the quiet corners of an island? In the stillness of a Southeast Asian isle, a faint whisper from prehistory echoes, as if evolution had let a branch of humanity grow wild and forgotten in seclusion. A tale long buried in nature's silence. Deep within Indonesia, on a remote island called Flores, the remains of a human species were unearthed, neither myth nor fantasy. Short in stature, hidden from the grand narratives of history, these hobbits once lived and died here, their legacy still teasing the boundaries of our imagination. This extinct hominin, small in body and short in height, once thrived on this island, thousands of years before modern humans set foot on Flores. With a playful yet meaningful nod, the discoverers called them hobbits, borrowing the name from Tolkien's imagined world, where little folk lived epic lives. On September 2nd, 2003, in a cave called Liang Bua, the discovery of a 30-year-old woman's skeleton, just over a meter tall, was like opening a window onto a forgotten world. She became known as the Little Lady, or simply Flo. Alongside her, remains of at least 9 other individuals were uncovered, and by 2015, that number had grown to 15. At first, it was believed that this human survived until about 12,000 years ago, but more recent studies revealed that the last traces of their presence date back to nearly 50,000 years ago. Archaeological layers, ranging in age from 60,000 to 100,000 years, have preserved these echoes of the past, layers that whisper of stone tools and human activity reaching back as far as 190,000 years. Flores is a remote island in Southeast Asia, reachable only by raft or boat. The presence of hominins on such an isolated landmass raises a profound question. How and when did they arrive? Were they cast ashore by ocean winds, or did they dare to cross unfamiliar waters of their own volition? The oldest stone tools discovered on the island are over 1 million years old, evidence that the first migrants set foot here long ago. But what makes Homo Floresiensis truly astonishing is not merely their small frame, but the remarkably tiny brain, just 426 cubic centimeters. Even so, they crafted tools, hunted prey, and survived against the odds. Their anatomy is a mosaic of the ancient and the oddly modern. Short legs in proportion to long arms, primitive wrists resembling those of chimpanzees and Australopithecus, yet thumbs and fingers that hint at a more modern lineage. A skull that carries echoes of a deep evolutionary past, and perhaps glimpses of a complex inner world. From the very beginning, one of the central controversies surrounding Homo floresiensis has been the question of their origins. Were they truly a distinct species of ancient human, or simply modern humans afflicted by congenital disorders? In early examinations, some researchers proposed that these individuals might have been modern humans afflicted with congenital disorders or genetic conditions. But as the evidence grew, that theory began to unravel. By constructing 3D models of the Homo floresiensis skull and comparing them with those of modern humans, including individuals with dwarfism and microcephaly, scientists discovered clear anatomical distinctions. The structure of the Homo floresiensis skull showed the closest morphological resemblance not to any pathological modern human, but to Homo erectus. Some anthropologists now believe that the Flores hobbits descended from Homo erectus populations that once lived in Southeast Asia. Isolated on the island and shaped by its unique ecology, they underwent a dramatic evolutionary transformation, becoming smaller over generations, a phenomenon known as island dwarfism, a natural response to limited resources and confined environments. Beyond the skull's resemblance to Homo erectus, other clues deepen this connection. Over 1,000 stone tools, mostly simple flakes, have been uncovered. Alongside them, the bones of stegodon, an extinct dwarf elephant species, and Komodo dragons that appear to have been hunted. These artifacts whisper of a lineage that carried the ancient traditions of tool-making and survival into a new, isolated world. But not all scholars agree with this narrative. An alternative theory proposes that Homo Floresiensis did not descend from Homo erectus, but from a far more primitive ancestor, perhaps Homo habilis, or even one of the Australopithecines. Recent morphological and genetic studies have begun to lend weight to this idea. Could the Flores hobbits be remnants of a migration wave so ancient that it predates even the rise of Homo erectus? Could the island of Flores have been the host to one of the earliest waves of migration out of Africa? Research published in 2009 suggested that Homo Floresiensis branched off from the lineage of modern humans very early, perhaps just before or just after the emergence of Homo habilis. Their feet, for example, bear several primitive traits, hinting at descent from an ancestor even more archaic than Homo erectus. A 2015 statistical analysis further supported this view, revealing closer anatomical affinities with Homo habilis, Australopithecus sediba, and Homo georgicus. This raised the possibility that the ancestors of Homo Floresiensis left Africa well before Homo erectus ever emerged. Further studies in 2017 pointed to a shared ancestor between Homo Floresiensis and Homo habilis, potentially evidence of an early, forgotten migration of primitive hominins out of Africa. But the questions refuse to rest. Did they master fire? Some traces hint at the possible use of fire, but so far the evidence remains too sparse and too uncertain to draw any firm conclusions. The mysteries of Flores had yet to be unraveled, when another astonishing discovery in the heart of Africa shattered all expectations. A revelation that not only mocked the neat predictions of science, but dared to challenge the very boundaries of what it means to be human. In our next video, we descend into the shadowy depths of the Rising Star Cave, where another unknown being, cloaked in ancient silence, awaits rediscovery. Homo naledi.